Good evening, and we're back. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 1, Pack Homer Podcast. Going to preview the 2026 season. I got Adam and Wesley here with me. Wesley is now a father, and he's been hard to get up with. And
He's a girl dad.
Adam's been trick or treating at the White House since the last time we talked. So anyway, I'm glad to get all together tonight. How you doing, boys?
Doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I was thinking about it today when you sent the invite for this, thinking about that I miss doing this with you fellas. So I'm glad to be back.
I feel like I
I
live
don't
in
I,
South Dakota the last 10 days.
Yeah, I missed y'all too. I tell you, to not have very many listeners. I had a lot of people reaching out to us wondering when we were going to launch again. I bet I have 4 in the last month, and we're just glad to get together. If you're listening to us for the first time, we're the only podcast I know that's dedicated just to NC State baseball. We love all the other Wolfpack sports, but baseball to us is the most important one. It's about to warm up a little bit. We're going to be in Puerto Rico in a week and actually playing baseball. But man, we ain't been able to practice a whole lot outside, I wouldn't think, in the last couple weeks. How much snow did you get down at the beach, Wesley? Here, I got like 3 inches in the triangle.
Here in this part of Wilmington, we were around 7 to 8 inches. I think the further north you go to Moorhead, Emerald Isle, Beaufort, they got 14 to 18 inches. They got hammered pretty good. But that's the most I've seen in my 38 years. I've never seen that much snow in my life. So my 6-month-old daughter has already witnessed more snow than I have in eastern North Carolina.
And Adam, down in Florida, I mean, I don't know how many counties are in Florida, but how many of them have freezing temperatures? 67. So was there freezing temperatures in every county?
Yeah, it would have to be because there was freezing temperatures in Cuba.
That's crazy.
So yeah, for the first time ever. So yeah, it's been a brutal winter for us in the ag business. So yeah, It's crazy times.
No doubt. All right, so I guess we'll start off. Last year, guys, we apologize. We were pretty down. We were down bad after the Auburn Regional, and we didn't even have a podcast at the end of the season. We took our ball and went home. But last year, going into the last weekend of the season, I had a chance to win the regular season ACC championship. Went 17-11 in the ACC, and went down to the Auburn Regional, where we actually lost game 1 to Stetson, and then fought our way back to the regional finals there. Had to beat Auburn twice, so we were unable to beat Auburn, and lost in the Auburn Regional. Coach Avent's back for his 30th season. Got 1,071 wins at NC State. He's been put the Wolfpack in the tournament 22 out of the last 29 seasons, or 22 of his 29 seasons. 17 of the last 20. Played in 6 Supers and 3 College World Series, coming off a 35-win season. Coach Avent still at the helm. You're going to have a chance to play in the postseason with him. You're likely to play in the postseason with him. But before we start talking about this year's team, I want to talk a little bit about the guys that left and maybe kind of get you guys' take on who you think are the most significant losses. I'll start with the we'll call them hitters. Josh Hogue, of course, was drafted. Alex Sosa in the portal to Miami. Ryder Woodson, who really didn't play a whole lot last year, but
until that Auburn Regional.
Yeah, if you can remember that far back, he had a pretty special Auburn Regional, but he's now at Mississippi State. Our shortstop, DeCrisio, was also drafted. Ryan Jaros is off to Rutgers. Jake Bechtel, who we thought a lot of and friends with his family there. Jake's down there with Wesley now. He's at UNCW. Trent Lyons, who we had high hopes for, and I still think he's got a chance to be a good college baseball player. He's down at Kennesaw State. Matt Austin Fort is at Michigan. Jet Gilliam, who played a little bit in the outfield for us, is at Utah. And Matt Hebner, who entered the portal, but he is not playing college baseball this season to my knowledge. So if you call out all those offensive guys or hitters, who do you think is the most significant loss in that group from a roster perspective, fellas?
Hogue.
Yeah, I think Hogue from his dependability, but I mean, you losing to graduation, whatever. Um, but he definitely from a dependability, Hogue for sure. In the field, maybe not so much, right? So
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. I mean, Josh Hogue is one of my favorite players to play at State. Just so reliable. You seem to always come up with big hits and just kind of brought his lunchbox to work every day and or his hard hat, however you want to, however the saying goes. Obviously, probably from kind of ripped the Band-Aid off perspective. Alex Sosa, who played a lot as a freshman, as a sophomore, caught for us last year. It was more of a DH role his freshman year behind Jacob Cozart on the College World Series team. But, Sosa, I think that, you lose a lot with the offensive potential. And I think we could probably use that word potential even more than production wise, even though he did have a lot of big hits. And I mean, he hit 10 home runs last year. It's not like he was just some rando. He was a big time pickup for Miami in the portal. I think defensively, we'll be all right. I actually like Drew behind the plate better than I do Sosa personally, and that's not a knock on Sosa as much as it is. I just think Drew's a better catcher. But yeah, I agree, Hogue. As far as pitchers, we lost Dom Fritton to the draft, left-handed weekend starter. We lost Andrew Schaffner, who maybe was one of the best athletes on the entire roster. He actually played in the outfield a little bit for us when he had to in his time in Raleigh. Shane Van Dam was drafted, and then we lost Camden Wimbish to Campbell. Matt Willardson, who was on 2 College World Series teams, and unfortunately was unable to play in the first one because of COVID. We missed Willardson's start. Is that right? Or did he pitch in the college? We missed his start. Is that correct?
Wasn't he?
I thought maybe he was slated to go. Anyway, he was big time. He pitched at Arkansas for us in the Supers that year. And if he pitched in the College World Series, I apologize for missing that. We think a lot of Matt too. But then in the second College World Series we went to, he missed that for injury. So, and then last year, obviously battling back from injury, wasn't the same pitcher that he was before the injury. But Matt Willardson to graduation and Carson Kelly also to graduation. So those names I just mentioned, I guess that the easy coin toss is probably between Dom Fritton
and Schaffner.
Schaffner. I personally believe from a production standpoint, Andrew Schaffner, you could argue, is more valuable a loss than
100%.
Dom Fritton.
I like Dom. We were always supported Dom, but Schaffner, man, he filled a pretty vital role for us at some critical times. So yeah, definitely gonna miss him.
And also lost our man D-Rock to the draft too. I missed him, but last year he battled injury. Go ahead, Wes.
Last season we lobbied for Bechtel to get some ABs, and all Bechtel did in the Northwoods League this summer 14 doubles, 12 bombs, 64 RBIs, and 31 stolen bases. That's all he did. That's all I'm going to say.
And I hope he lights it up down there for the Seahawks.
We all do, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the first one of the first weekend series. Check them out.
All right, so returning in the infield, Luke Nixon, Brandon Novey, Chris McHugh, and then catcher Preston Bond. We also have catcher Drew Lamphere. In the outfield, we have Ty Head, Braden Fraseman. Pitchers Ryan Marone, Jacob Duden, Anderson Nance, Keith Andrews, Cooper Consiglio, and Tristan Potts. We got some guys coming back. Out of the guys that we got coming back, who do you think, probably going to play every single day? Who do you guys, McHugh, you got to feel like McHugh's going to play every day. I think there's been some talk of McHugh even playing in the outfield. So I don't know if I'll believe that until I see it. But
Head started every game last year, right?
Yeah, Head, you can almost like put his name on the lineup card in ink in center field. I feel like he's so good defensively. He's got an extra long rope, and then you feel
Luke's going to be at second.
Yeah, every day. So, and then Braden Fraseman, I think, is going to play a lot. We're going to talk a little bit more about our lineup when we start talking about our additions from recruiting in the portal. So we'll try to write out a lineup card a little later and give some of our thoughts on who how things are going to shake out. But you feel like definitely Nixon, McHugh, and Head and Fraisman are probably going to be in the lineup more often than not. And then from a pitching perspective, Ryan Marone, I don't know if you guys just saw, Ryan was named he's on the preseason watch list for National Pitcher of the Year. Jacob Duden he's going to be a starter this year. He has not been a starter in his first 2 years in Raleigh. He's pitched almost exclusively out of the bullpen. I seem to think we gave him a spot start last year. With the intention of only throwing like an inning, but he did. He started one time last year, but anyway, Jacob Duden he's gonna slot into the rotation this year, and then you also have back Anderson Nance, who we lobbied for to start last year. Everything I'm kind of hearing, reading, Nance is probably not
be that closer role, maybe.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Extended relief.
Yeah, he's probably going to be like our Swiss Army knife out of the bullpen. They need him to throw 5 to finish, they'll do it. And if he only has to throw 1 good. Heath Andrews, I think there's a lot of debate whether or not he'll stay in the weekend rotation, but Heath Andrews started a lot of games for us, and he's back. Cooper Consiglio had a really good second half, I'd say, of his freshman season. Had a really, really good outing at Clemson that everybody remembers. And then last year didn't really perform up to what I know his expectations were. So Cooper Consiglio is back and probably going to play a big role as a left-hander, as even a starter possibly, or out of the bullpen. And then Tristan Potts, who I thought looked pretty good at times last year. So of the return, even between hitters and pitchers, I think you guys probably agree. I'm pretty excited about the arms that we brought back, just the overall quality of the arms.
I think we talk about Heath Andrews, and he was a guy that felt like was likely not going to be back, likely going to get drafted at one point, and so getting a guy back with that much experience, and you mentioned Consiglio's performance the year before at Clemson. Andrew's performance last year versus Clemson was pretty special too. So we know that he's capable, but it'd be interesting to see with all these pieces returning, but obviously, you got to think Nance, kind of chomping at his heels a little bit more this year. You got to think is it going to be a little shorter leash on him? I don't know. But you got so much experience coming back, and I think that just is going to be so huge for this team, with so many other new pieces. But pitching wise, man, it sure looks special on paper.
When you just take the guys I said, those key guys I said returning, because Potts made 11 appearances last year. I don't think I remember he made that many, but between Marone, Duden, Nance, Andrews, Consiglio, and Potts, you're like right at 250 innings. And then on top of that, guys, you're at over like 75 appearances. Let's see, Potts made 11, Marone made 14, that's 25. Nance had another 18 appearances from Anderson Nance last year. So that's, what's that? I said 18. I said 14, 11, 25, 43. Duden made 22 appearances last year, so you're at 65. Consiglio had 17 appearances last year, 82. And then Andrews had 14. So actually 96 appearances and 250 innings. That's...
Well, and you think, Dom is the only one that had significant innings not back, right? And so, and how many, what did Dom pitch? Maybe, did he pitch 60 innings?
Dom threw 86 innings last year.
Wow. Gosh, it didn't seem like that many.
And another name I didn't mention earlier, who I think is a big loss from the arm perspective, not as big as Dom and Schaffner, of course, but Jackson Lucas. We lost to Liberty, and Jackson Lucas threw 19 innings last year. But if you take away Dom and Jackson Lucas, we did not lose a single arm that threw more than 25 innings. Carson Kelly threw 22, and Van Dam threw 8. We did expect Van Dam to throw a lot, though. He was just hurt.
And I was just saying, it's a high percentage of our innings back.
No doubt.
No doubt.
So
more than any time that I can remember.
Yeah, over half of our innings back, I believe. So that's exciting. Wesley, anything to add there?
Well, no, I'm excited to see, and I can't pronounce his last name, but the kid from UNCG that had the ACL injury last year. So I think I'm excited to see him because he performed at a really high level a couple years ago, and I think he went pretty deep in a game against Wake Forest 2 years ago when they had the offense they had. So I think that's another potential icing on the cake to this experienced pitching staff.
Yeah, we're going to call him Julian because we know that's his first name, but his last name is Peasel or Peisel, and we'll wait until he's on ESPN and they announce it. But no knock on you, Julian. I hope you're a loyal listener. And if you want to message your pronunciation of your name, we'll get it right next time. So additions via the portal, we had a lot of. I thought we did way better in the portal than what I thought personally our money would allow us to do. I'm not saying that we don't have any money. We obviously have more than a lot, probably the majority of Division I programs when you just talk about how many there are. But we don't have SEC money for the most part. And we brought in some really, I thought we did an excellent job identifying talent in the portal and bringing some dudes in. Start with the position players. You look at Dalton Bargo, the transfer from Tennessee, hit 14 home runs. So that's a player from the SEC. I think they probably anticipated him getting drafted. But Bargo from Tennessee is a huge ad. He's kind of a utility guy. We don't even know where he's going to play yet. We're going to try to guess a little later, but Bargo is a big ad. Mikey Ryan, who was a freshman shortstop last year at LSU. I don't know if you guys saw. D1 Baseball has him ranked the 35th best shortstop in college baseball, and I don't think he has 10 college at bats yet. So
he had 3 at LSU.
Yeah, so they obviously think very, very highly of him, but he also was behind a guy at shortstop, Monster Milam, Stephen Milam, who has got National Player of the Year aspirations. So, tough sledding there, and we're glad to have Mikey and Raleigh. Andrew Wiggins from Indiana, really athletic kid who he hadn't hit enough for my liking, but his on base percentage is through the roof, over 400. I think every year he's played, the Cape included. He walks a lot, but he was at Indiana. Not as good a conference as the ACC or the SEC, but nonetheless a big ad. Wyatt Pfeiffer, third baseman from JMU, who Pfeiffer is supposed to be unbelievable defensively, and he actually hit over 300 as the year before. I don't know, I guess sophomore year. Last year he didn't hit he struggled a little bit offensively. I think there might have been some injury problems there, but anyway, it wasn't as good at defensively even last year, but is kind of widely regarded as one of the best defensive third basemen in baseball. And then Sherman Johnson, who was at Dallas Baptist as a freshman. Then he was at JUCO, was committed to Arkansas, and now he's in Raleigh. Another guy has high upside to play on the left side of the infield. So picked up some really good pieces position wise. Out of those names I mentioned, which do you guys think kind of jumps off the page, most important, going to have the biggest impact, fellas?
Why don't you go first, Cal?
Why don't I go first? So, I mean, just because I think that up the middle, that's catcher, second base, shortstop, center field, and the mound is kind of as important as anywhere on the field. I think having somebody you're going to trot out there 56 times and play shortstop is a huge deal. So I'm really, really high just on Mikey Ryan, just looking at his whole background and, what I've heard. But Mikey Ryan is still an unknown. The 14 home runs at Tennessee from Bargo, I think last year we couldn't get the ball in the air. We couldn't hit it out of the yard for nothing. So while I really am high on Mikey Ryan, I'm probably going to lean Dalton Bargo.
I like that. I was going to say Mikey Ryan. I mean, I think he was like a top 75 high school kid, played quarterback in high school, probably just a, pretty good, well-rounded athlete. Like you said, had playing behind an absolute stud at LSU. And so to get that opportunity to bring a kid like that to Raleigh, I think is pretty special. We've felt like we've, been pretty good defensively at short. I mean, I've loved the guys that we've had the last several years, but to have potentially a more well-rounded overall shortstop, I think it's pretty exciting. And Mikey Ryan seems like he could be that guy for us. So excited about having him in Raleigh for sure. But like you said, I would just you know echo what you said earlier about. I mean, I really feel like we did a really nice job in the portal, and especially with having so many positions already kind of etched in the lineup, seemingly. It seems like we got a ton of depth in the outfield, and so I'm really excited about this team.
Wesley?
Yeah, I like Bargo just from the standpoint of the power he brings to the lineup when you put him in with McHugh and Phraseman. Just really what like the dimension that brings to the lineup, especially when you look at the speedy guys and the guys that get on base that we throw into that, which I know we'll talk about the lineup later, but I think that is definitely the biggest pickup. And I mean Mikey Ryan, I don't know a whole lot about him, to be honest. But I can't really remember any time that we haven't had a pretty solid shortstop. So I think
Hmm.
Bargo really is the cream of the crop in terms of the transfer portal.
Yeah, and like last year, I felt like we swung and missed on a bunch of portal guys. I mean, no offense to Ryan Jaros and Matt Ossenfort. I didn't think either one of them fit us from a culture perspective, and they damn sure didn't from a production perspective. Gosh, that sounds terrible, but you guys know what I mean. Like we brought those guys in. We're like, man, we're getting a guy from Vanderbilt. We're getting a guy from Georgia Tech. And you look at Austin 40 at 240 and had one home run, and Jaros had three home runs. He did hit 304, but I mean, he only played in 19 games because we never got comfortable with him defensively over there at third base. He had an 818 fielding percentage. So, like, Bargo's a guy that if he doesn't have a put out all year, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you stick the guy at DH and he hits 15 bombs, like, sign me up. Like, I'll take it. So I'm really excited about Dalton Bargo and some of those other names that we just mentioned. I do think that and we could talk about this more later from a lineup perspective. If things went wrong, I mean, you guys remember what just a few years ago where we kind of jumped around a little bit at shortstop when we had Peyton Green. Kind of got a little yippy over there on the left side, and then he ended up at Georgia Tech after that, and now he's playing professional baseball. But I feel like even worse case because we brought in so many pieces. Like maybe Sherman Johnson. Maybe we're all wrong, and Sherman Johnson ends up being the starting shortstop because Mikey Ryan doesn't pan out. Or I'd say it's probably worst case for our staff if they're like, man, we got to move Luke over there. We brought in enough pieces that we have some what I consider really, really good depth. So I think we did a good job in the portal. Now, from a pitching perspective, we didn't really bring in anybody who's on paper you're like, oh man, we went and picked up some elite type weekend arm, but brought in Collins Black from Duke, ACC, Danny Heights from Alabama, SEC, Ryder Garino from South Carolina, SEC. Those are guys that can make an impact. And I'll just share this with you guys now. Like, I have no idea, how it pans out for us, but everything I've heard is that Collins Black, the transfer from Duke, he has got real deal upside. I mean, if you look at his stats last year at Duke, he only threw, and Pollard likes to throw 177,000 different guys. He only threw 9.1 innings at an 8.68 ERA. I will precursor that and say he got touched up in one outing that really ballooned that thing, but he had 18 strikeouts in 9 innings.
Wow.
18 strikeouts in 9 innings. And coming from a program like Duke, where with Pollard, who's now at Virginia, that he was coached pretty well, I'm pretty excited about Collins Black, especially. So I think that that was another really good pickup. And maybe the names don't wow you as much on the pitching side, but we already talked about the fact that we bring back over half of our innings from last year. So we definitely had a bigger need from the offensive side. Anything to add? And then we'll talk about some of our recruits. Nothing.
No,
Okay.
same with Black. Same here with Black. Hearing great things about him in off season.
So recruit wise, the first name I'm going to give you guys, because I think he's going to play a lot, or he's going to have the opportunity to play a lot, is Rhett Johnson. He's an outfielder, kind of do it all, not a big dude, but I think he hit leadoff in both of the fall scrimmages. I don't think you're hitting him at leadoff where he can get as many at bats as possible against Wake Forest and UNC, unless you think he's going to play. He's a recruit. Sherman Johnson, we've already mentioned him several times, but Sherman Johnson is actually, we would consider him a recruit because he came from the JUCO ranks. And then Quinn Bentley, a freshman from Wilmington. Also Devin Mitchell, a JUCO transfer from Florence Darlington who hit 16 home runs. He's an outfielder. I heard he has an absolute bazooka from right field. Can run it up there close to triple digits, throwing from right field. So, just more options. But I think that Rhett Johnson, out of those names, on the hitter side, there's a potential that he's going to play a lot. So, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I'm excited about Rhett Johnson. I mean, I think one of the interviews I saw that Coach Avent had done, I think, pretty sure Rhett Johnson was the first player he mentioned, as far as impressed coming out of the fall. But, yeah, I mean, he was I know he's the number one ranked outfielder coming out of the state of North Carolina in this year's class, the 2025 class, and pretty high overall in the country. So,
and he's 5'9", 170, so just a hair taller than Wesley.
Yeah, like an eighth of an inch. Won 2 state championships. Yeah, I'm excited about Rhett Johnson. I think it sounds like he's going to be a guy that we're going to have to find somewhere for him to play.
Yeah, and everything I've heard, we obviously hadn't had Coach Avent on the show. You're welcome anytime, Coach Avent. I don't know.
Coach Avent did tell me this fall, though, at the football game when he was there with Carlos and Trey, that he loved the show. So,
well, I don't know if they'll let him on. He might have to go through. I mean, you can't wear the slobbering wolf either. So I don't know if they'll let him on the podcast. If our folks at the university will, but anyway, we'd love to have him on anytime. But everything I've heard about Rhett Johnson, he's an Elliott Avent type guy. So I can't speak for Coach Avent, but I think it's going to be hard to keep the young buck out of the lineup if he produces early. He's going to get an opportunity. We'll see what he does with the rope that is handed to him. So, and then from a pitching standpoint, we got one really big 6'5", 250-pound, sounds like a football player. His dad was a football coach, Ian Kitchens, who
his dad is a football coach.
That's right. His dad is a football coach. Was is not the proper term there, but yeah, Aiden Kitchens, another freshman lefty that I've heard a lot about, Luke Hemrick, and then also 2 more names, Sam Harris from Broughton, a Raleigh kid that was pretty highly recruited, and Mikey Ragusa out of Florida. But I think of the freshman arms, the ones that I just mentioned, I think Kitchens and Hemrick are probably gonna get an opportunity to get in as early. I'd be surprised if both those guys don't see the field in the first 3 to 5 ball games. I heard a lot of good things about Hemrick and Kitchens outings. I think in the fall were pretty good.
Yeah, I'm glad to have those guys. Kitchens is a big kid. He was kind of destined to come to the Wolfpack. If you go to I'm assuming it's still in there, but if you go to the bookstore in Tally, there's a section on the wall. It's like an Adidas kind of banner on the wall, and there's a picture of Aiden when he was toddler, sitting on his dad's shoulders in there. So he's been destined to come to the Wolfpack. So I'm excited to have him in Raleigh.
And where was he committed to before he flipped the state? I can't remember. Was it Missouri? Wasn't he committed to another school?
Missouri does sound familiar, but I'm not sure, honestly.
Maybe I'm just wrong, but I think it says a lot about of course, we all three of us love Avent, but it says a lot about Avent, of course, when, of course, Dez, when his time at NC State as a running back coach and then the co-OC, that, he thought enough of Avent to send his kid to Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
Was previously committed to Missouri, Wesley. You remember correctly.
Yeah, that sounded right. Yep.
That's a miracle. I don't know how I remember that.
You've been studying so hard while you rock that baby to sleep at night.
Oh, yeah.
And then back from injury, Wesley alluded to earlier, Julian Peasel. I'm going with Peasel from UNC Greensboro. And Caden Morris is another name that I think we maybe talked.
Clayton. Yeah, that was, yeah.
I think we talked about him last year a little bit in the preseason. Then, of course, he was hurt. Those are two guys that you figure they're gonna get an opportunity. So, got a lot of depth, I feel like, on the mound. I mean, I think that the story of this team is depth. Maybe what we truly lack is a superstar, but you don't ever know who becomes a superstar either, because I don't think anybody 2 years ago had AMAC and Garrett Pennington slotted in for the seasons they have. But we have a lot of good pieces. So, I'm just kind of excited to see what happens and how the season plays out. I want to run through a mock lineup and then kind of talk about some scenarios. Have you guys even looked at the mock lineup that I kind of sent to you guys? Do we want to go position by position?
I mean,
you got your own.
I didn't want to look at yours.
Okay, that's fine. Fair enough. All right, at DH, who you got, Wes?
Bargo.
I have Bargo. Wesley, Adam Bargo.
Yeah, Bargo's got to be in the lineup.
All right, so Bargo, if he's our designated hitter, we figure Bargo, because we didn't talk about him enough when I said he's a utility guy. Bargo has I think he's played in the outfield. He's played first base, and I'm not sure he hadn't played third base in his time in college. So really is a true utility guy. I kind of think with our roster construction, he's probably more likely to DH, play first base, if he can catch a little bit, spell Lanphier, or, if he becomes a catcher, who knows. But I think he probably projects as DH right now. So we're in agreement on that Bargo will probably be our opening day DH. Our catcher, Drew Lanphier, unanimous.
Fear.
Yes.
Yep.
First base,
Chris McHugh.
Yeah, McHugh.
Second base,
Luke.
Shortstop,
Mikey Ryan.
Third base.
It's got to be Sherman Johnson, right?
You got the same damn lineup I do. I think for me, you go with Pfeiffer just because you know what he's going to give you defensively, and you just see if he can hit. Right? I mean, if he can hit, then he's going to be the guy. Because you can remember last year with the kid that transferred to Rutgers. Pretty sure it's Rutgers. When he was on third base,
Ryan Jarris.
He looked lost, right? You had such a solid third baseman the year before with AMAC. Of course, AMAC gave you 20-some home runs too. So it's a little different scenario. But I mean, in my opinion, you go with the known quantity defensively, especially early season in Puerto Rico, and you just hope that Pfeiffer can put the ball in play and get on base.
All right, so so you said Sherman Johnson. I do think that's one of the questions we'll come back to, the discussion of Sherman Johnson, Pfeiffer, Brandon Novey, who also, guys, late in the year last year, did some really good things. I think third base, probably going to be one of those positions on the field. Multiple guys get the opportunity to start. Somebody's probably going to eventually win the job and run with it. But I think third base right now, I don't think third base is probably settled. And then I think if shortstop isn't 100% solidified, then it could get really interesting on the left side of the infield. But right now, like Mikey Ryan at shortstop and Pfeiffer / Johnson as your opening day third baseman. And to Wesley's point, I lean toward Pfeiffer because I was at the game last year in Jacksonville and against Ohio State, and we played soccer. We kicked the ball all over the place. It was embarrassing.
If Pfeiffer can hit, there's no question that it's going to be his to lose. I feel like.
What did he hit at JMU, Cal?
So he hit
241.
241 last year, but I think he hit 310 as a sophomore or junior. I don't know if he's a fifth year.
305 as a sophomore.
And played in that regional. Do you guys remember James Madison played in the Raleigh regional? So he's a big part of what they did. I think he was hampered a little bit by injury last year. I can't confirm
He
that
started all 55 games last year.
with real data, but yeah, I think that he's a guy that I just don't think he transfers to Raleigh without thinking that he's going to play every day. Which hell, everybody thinks they're good enough to play every single day when they make a transfer or commit. But I just think that that guy's gonna. He came here with the expectation to play, and I do got this little note on him. It says that Pfeiffer last year at James Madison struggled in the early part of the spring, hitting 172 with 3 doubles, a homer, and 10 RBIs, 28 strikeouts in the first 25 games. But then down the stretch, he hit 339 in James Madison's last 30 games with 7 doubles and 5 home runs. Now, for Mr. Pfeiffer, the problem I think he's got in Raleigh that he might not have had at James Madison,
He'll be on the bench here.
I think if he hits 172 in 25 games, my man he'd be holding a towel.
Best seat in the house.
Yeah, you gotta. We've talked about this before, but third base is a position that you gotta have some offensive output from. That's a position that's got to produce at the plate for you. Yes, it's you don't want to, like you said, play soccer with it over there, but you got to have some production from your third baseman too, I feel like.
Amen. All right, so let's go to the outfield. We'll start in center field because I think that barring injury or catastrophe, absolutely going to be Ty Head starting in center field. Everybody agrees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I also heard old Ty has found a little juice here in the fall, and I'm not talking about steroids. I'm not talking about Barry Bonds juice, but I heard that Ty has got a little stronger and has showing a little more pop at the dish. But my gosh, what a freshman year Ty had put together. How many times did my man walk last year? The Matthews Motors Walking Man's Friend. Look at us doing shameless plugs. If you guys want sponsors, you can. But last year, how many times did Ty Head walk? I don't have those stats in front of me.
I don't.
He walked a lot, and always just had gritty at bats. He had some of the ugliest hits last year you'd ever see, where he just would battle and battle and battle. But anyway, and then defensively, I think was even more exciting than he was an offensive player. So Ty Head in center field, and then on the corners, where do you guys got the freshman? We think that Mr. Johnson's going to start day one left field. Everybody agree with that?
Left field. And
I would be shocked if Braden Fraseman's not the starting right fielder.
Yeah.
All right, so we kind of got a consensus there on our lineup. I think our big question mark was at third base, and what happens between Johnson and Pfeiffer. But so a couple more questions now, just before we go to our rotation. So like Brandon Novy last year did some really good things. So if you look at Novy and you kind of say, well, we think that Bargo is going to DH. What do you think the plan is for Novy? Is it or Sherman Johnson or Devin Mitchell or Andrew Wiggins,
Wiggins, the guy we hadn't mentioned yet,
who had a 454 on base percentage in Indiana last year? He only hit 256, but had a 454 on base percentage. That gets back to the discussion I was having about depth. We have a lot of pieces. But you also know Avent really likes to write the same 8 guys down every day at some point in the year. That's kind of his MO is you might go lefty on righty on lefty, on pitching matchups. But, there is a lot of pieces there to like. And, did it even cross your guys' mind that when we picked up Andrew Wiggins that there was a possibility he wouldn't be starting for us this year? That's
no. I think with Novy, potentially if the kid from JMU that we were just talking about, what the hell was his name?
Pfeiffer.
He's not on my list for some reason. If Pfeiffer, if he's not playing well, and then you throw Bargo to see what Bargo can do at third base, because I don't think Novy can play third base, and then Novy's your DH there. So I think that's another unknown. We don't really, maybe we're underestimating what Bargo's skill set is in the field. So I think that could potentially be another possibility.
Or was
Well, you
Sherman
also
Johnson?
Yeah,
yeah,
same.
or I was gonna say, or if Phraseman or Rhett don't produce in the outfield, there's so much depth there. But you could also talk about, you have heard, there has been several things mentioned about McHugh, potentially playing in the outfield, and does that open up opportunity for Novi to get line up? I don't know. Probably.
Yeah, and the discussion probably comes up at some point, depending on what that offensive output looks like. I mean, if you need more pop, you feel like Novi's a guy that is going to hit some gaps. If you need more speed, do you need? And it's going to depend on, I guess, what we need and then who produces and who doesn't. It ain't going to be really easy to write a lineup card. I can't even imagine this NIL era. You bring all these kids in,
Okay.
you're like, hell, man, I moved here and I want to play, and they're like, well, we brought in someone better than you, and that's life. um, but I mean, really, I think we have a hard lineup card to write because if we go like we said, Barger, Lanfear, McHugh, Nixon, Ryan Pfeiffer, Rhett Johnson, Head, and Phraseman. Then you have Brandon Novi, Devin Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins, Sherman Johnson, all on the bench. Like guys that expect to come in and play. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And we didn't even talk about Preston Bonnet, catcher, who
Yeah.
I've heard some good things about about him, and we got a lot of guys. So what does that look like? And then is there another freshman that we're not even figuring in right now as being a guy that could possibly have an impact? Last year, Ryder Woodson was pretty much buried all season long, and then postseason rolls around and everyone wants to know, well, hadn't he played all year? And now, at one point, I don't know if that's been decided yet, but he was battling to be the starting shortstop at Mississippi State, who's preseason number 4 in the country. So it ain't easy to be a head coach and to write out a lineup card every day. So a lot yet to be determined. So let's get to the pitchers because we only got so much time.
Yeah.
All right, rotation. I'm gonna let you guys go first on that.
Man, go ahead, Wes.
Well, I mean, I think Chrysler's super loyal, right? I mean, the only question mark is Heath Andrews, and I think you can guarantee that Heath Andrews is going to be one of the starting 3 in Puerto Rico in the first couple series. Marone, Andrews, Duden are going to be your 3 guys. I don't think that's any question at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about what order, right? Like when does Marone pitch? Is he a Friday guy or Saturday guy? And where do you put Dude in that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever I say would just be speculation. I mean, Chrysler and Avent know what to do, so I trust their opinion. But I guess I would like Duden potentially a little, maybe on Sunday, because I just
You have questions about his length?
question about his length and just hate to use so much bullpen on a Friday. I don't think he's going to be the Friday guy anyway. But
And see, I actually think he's going to be the Friday guy.
you do? Well, you see, you know a lot more about it than I do anyway. Hell, so
I think the only reason I think he's going to be the Friday guy is because I think your Friday guy is going to be him or Andrews. Because to Wesley's point, I think Andrews is going to be in the rotation, and I think that Avent's going to go right, left, right. I don't think he'll want to go left, right, right, or right, left,
see,
left.
you know a lot more about it than I do, but I just
But I agree with you. I agree
Yeah.
with the point. Like, I don't want him to go out there and throw 4 innings on Friday night. And now, because I don't know what kind of length Jacob Duden has. Hell, sometimes he goes and throws 4 innings and he looks great. And you're like, man, he went in 4 innings and struck out 10, but he threw 87
and 64 sliders.
and 64 sliders.
I don't know. I'm excited for Duden, and obviously he's certainly deserved the chance to start. I mean, he's he stayed there when he's obviously had huge opportunities probably to go elsewhere, and so I don't think there's any question that he's earned that right to be a starter. I just selfishly thinking, if he doesn't have the length, to take you deep like we know somebody like Marone can, then that we just expected out of Marrone, obviously, at this point. You know, I just hate getting in your bullpen so early, you know, before the weekend. So, but I do think, you know, talking about that too, I think like somebody like Consiglio, I feel like with some of these other pieces that we got, I feel like Chrysler and Avent are going to be inclined to use him on the weekend rather than saving him for those midweek games. Which I mean, I know is probably his somewhat more natural role. I kind of feel like he would pitch in the midweek or start in the midweeks if, you know, if we don't have to use him as much on the weekends, but which, you know, obviously, hopefully that is the case. I think he's a piece that we're probably, besides Anderson Nance, that we're going to have to kind of do some extended relief on the weekends also.
Yeah, and you know, the Hemrick kid I've heard a lot about. I don't know if Hemrick, you know, maybe fights to battle and scratch his way into the rotation. I think we don't know that yet. And then if you go left, right, left, then Duden's a Saturday guy. But I don't think going into the season, there's no question that Ryan Marrone's the ace because he's the only one that started and done it. And quite honestly, he's had the best numbers the first 2 years of anyone. I think he had the best numbers as a freshman. You know, ERA wise, he wasn't used as much. But Marrone is the ace going into the season. Obviously, like Duden has just got unbelievable upside, and not that's disrespectful. He's got more than upside. The damn guy's been lights out in big moments. I mean, we love Jacob Duden. I think that probably collectively we're nervous about taking that piece out of the bullpen because, you know, it's pretty nice to be able to bring a dude in that with the bases loaded in a 1-run game and 1 out, and he just go in there and punch 2 guys out. You're like, well, we lose that. So, you know, you mentioned it, Adam. I mean, for Duden to be a starter, he ain't gonna be able to go out there and throw 65 sliders. The fastball is going to have to play for him. Does that change things? Heath Andrews, I know that our staff obviously really likes him because they stuck with him all last year. We obviously last year, we're big Anderson Nance fans. I'm a huge Anderson Nance fan because he pounds his own. I mean, he
misses bats.
He put up numbers. So, you know, does Anderson Nance, does Luke Hemrick, Collins Black, does he got starter stuff? I mean, he started this summer for the Salamanders over in Holly Springs and was just lights out in the summer league. So I don't know. I think I agree with you guys that it's going to be Marrone, Duden, and Andrews to start with, even if maybe that ain't what we would do if it was us, but we don't get paid to do it. So,
I mean, again, I think you just got to be kind of. I mean, it's a good position to be in, right? Obviously, you want to find roles for all those guys, keep them happy, and develop them as the season goes along. But you know, I feel like we all thought that Andrews was probably a guy that was going to get drafted and be gone at one point. But to have him back, maybe he builds on that experience. Like I said, you know, there were some moments last year where he was really good, and we could see what the staff saw in him, you know. But I just think to get a piece like that back, but then to have those options potentially behind him, especially with Anderson Nance, I think is a good position to be in.
And you don't know what the season brings either. I mean, injury, performance. I mean, hell, last year before the season, if you asked me, I would have told you that bar none, we have the best bullpen in the country. And I could have only named you 2 names because the College World Series the year before, I'm like, we got D-Rock and Duden. We just got to figure out how to get 5 innings. Well, D-Rock was hurt. Duden struggled a little bit early in the year, and Duden was still Duden, but then the other 2 names ended up being Andrew Schaffner. We had D-Rock, Duden, Shane Van Dam, Cooper Consiglio, and we didn't even know who Anderson Nance was.
Nope.
So, guys, we're just guessing. But
yeah,
a lot of pieces to like, right?
Everybody's just listening at this point because they like us.
That's right. Oh man. All right. So I think we've talked about that ad nauseum. All right. So one thing I had in my notes that I'm not going to not get in before we talk about our schedule and then jump off this thing. We're gonna get a little schedule and prediction action. Patrick Bailey, second Gold Glove this
Gold
year.
Glove winner. Yeah.
So we're going to congratulate him. Carlos Rodon, big year with the New York Yankees. Trevor Turner obviously still doing his thing in the show. And Gino Groover is getting closer to the big leagues every day. Anything else I missed from Wolfpack guys in the pros? We obviously been putting a lot in the pros lately, but those four especially have, I think, had pretty special seasons last year.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody we're missing there.
All right. So moving on, our schedule and some of the people that some of the folks I've talked to, and we're not going to preview. We're going to try to get together. I'm not promising anything. We're going to try to get together and maybe preview our Puerto Rico series. If we don't preview it, we will give you a summary. But our schedule, a lot of folks have been like, "My God, your preseason schedule is pretty boring, horrible." Fair enough. But after Puerto Rico, where we play Washington, Indiana State, and Seton Hall, we follow that up with Winthrop, Princeton, Richmond, Akron, Sacred Heart. So, all right, we play the Sisters of the Poor for a good long ways there. We got Coastal Carolina mixed in.
I think it was like 17 or 18 straight games at the Doak after we get back from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, we get back from Puerto Rico on February 15th, and we don't leave Raleigh again until
we go down to Wesley's neighborhood.
Until we go down to UNCW on March 17th. So a month straight in Raleigh. So just quick discussion. What would you guys like to see in a non-conference? I want to play an SEC school.
I want to play an SEC school. I want to see a freaking series versus East Carolina too. I mean, I don't know why we don't do that. Wesley, you're so involved with both schools. Why can't you make that happen?
Well, I mean, Carolina's already beat us to it. I mean, I don't know that.
No, yeah.
I mean, it's already. I mean, whatever. We're not going to talk about basketball here. When Wade came in, our schedule fundamentally changed this year in basketball. There's been we reaped the rewards there from a net standpoint. I mean, even some of the games where we've lost, I'm not going to talk about basketball, but in some of the games we've lost in the quad one really didn't hurt you, right? So, I mean, hopefully, whatever, there's a rhyme or reason. Like we say every year, Avon knows what he's doing, but I don't want to go watch us play Sacred Heart.
Yeah, February 27th, 41 degrees. Going to be really hard to go out to watch them play Sacred Heart. Just doesn't really.
Yeah, and I mean, you
that's
got
hard.
I just don't know what you really see, how you see what you got in those series, and again, who are we to second guess? But I mean, from a fan experience, you want to play some teams that you get people in the stadium, get people excited about the rest of the season. And I get it, the ACC is a gauntlet. When you look at the arms that you're going to face when you get to conference, but if we can't do ECU, and maybe that's not an option because they've already got the Carolina series or some other.
Maybe we need to do Coastal.
Yeah, man, Coastal I think will be a great every year
series.
Yeah, every year. Well, I tell you where I feel like we really missed out was after we got royally screwed and didn't even fight it. In 2021, in the College World Series, don't even get us going.
Yeah.
But when we got royally screwed and didn't even think about fighting it at the College World Series, not only did we make ourselves beloved to the nation, but we made great friends with the boys at Mississippi State. We ought to play them guys in a home and home every other year.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I'd go to Starkville, Mississippi every other year. I mean, I
would too.
Now that we've got field boxes at the Doak, maybe that we're stepping it up. So we're waiting for 2027 to schedule one of these types of series.
I hope so.
I hope you're right.
I hope you're right.
I really want to go on the road and watch us. I mean, obviously we're going to Puerto Rico, but I do want to go on the road and watch us play a good, non-conference road series.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I gotta. I mean,
we're gonna have to come. We're gonna have to start 20-0, or our RPI might be so low we can't make it up. Oh man.
So when we get to ACC, the ACC is undoubtedly, I think it's the second best conference in college baseball, behind the SEC, and obviously we have just as our top end. I think is just as good. I mean, I don't remember the last time there was not an ACC team in the College World Series, and so this year I'm going to stop after the top 8, but Georgia Tech has picked to win the ACC. Louisville second, North Carolina third, Florida State fourth. NC State is picked to finish fifth in the ACC. And if you're picked to finish fifth in the ACC, guys, it actually means if you're just a casual baseball fan, it means you got a good chance of hosting a regional.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Clemson 6, Wake Forest 7, Miami 8. I've already read this far. Might as well finish. Virginia 9, Notre Dame 10, Virginia Tech 11, Stanford 12. Boston College 13, Duke 14, California 15, and Pittsburgh 16. So pick to finish fifth in the ACC by D1 Baseball, who I think is probably the authority on college baseball. Pick to be a regional team. There are 10 ACC teams picked to be in a regional. And once we get an ACC play, we're going to play somebody good every week. What do you guys think with this roster that we've constructed, the talent that we've talked about having? What do you think is a realistic expectation for us this year in the ACC?
Oh man, I was hoping we were going to wait and preview that right after we saw these non-conference games.
Yeah, I need to see how we play against Sacred Heart before I make any season predictions.
Yeah. I mean, we got three. Well, at least we don't have Louisville. I think Louisville's going to be damn good, but at least we don't have Louisville. But we got
we're at Georgia Tech.
We're at Georgia Tech. We're at Florida State, and we're what else we got? Oh, and at Stanford. And I feel like Stanford is probably just going to get better, right? I mean, they've had a down. I mean, they were better last year than they were the year before, I feel like, but
they kept our ass from winning the regular season ACC last year.
It cost us it last year, exactly. Yeah. So we got to go there, right? That's a long trip. So
in the first 5, we got 4 teams above us. Like you said, we play Florida State and Georgia Tech on the road. We do get Tar Heels at home, and we dodge Louisville. But yeah, we got to.
Yeah, it's gonna be at Georgia Tech. It's gonna be tough. I don't know that. I think. I mean, Georgia Tech's got an impressive lineup, but I question whether they have the pitching to win that to be the best team in the ACC or not. And I think I would give the edge there to Louisville, in my opinion. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm not prepared to make a prediction on the.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I mean, because we're going. I promise we're going to keep doing the podcast even if we start 8-8, but it's going to be hard. It'll be a lot more.
Yeah, we'll probably just go like bi-monthly or something.
Yeah. But
we got Miami at home. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, I wonder how our fans are going to treat Sosa. I hope they treat him nice. He played in the College World Series for us, but I got a feeling there'll be some folks that are probably give old Sosa a hard time when on his return trip to Raleigh. Any particular series you're really looking forward to, guys?
No, always Carolina series, right? So, but last time they were in Raleigh was when Butterworth hit the walk-off.
Man, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, one thing I don't like about that UNC series is Adam mentioned earlier, we go to Stanford. We get home from Stanford at midnight on Sunday, and then we got UNC on Thursday night. It's a quick turnaround. It's a little unfortunate on the scheduling part, but I'm really looking forward to our trip to Puerto Rico next week. I was really hoping that Wesley was going to fly his little girl down to the island, but he's abandoning me and Adam.
Next year.
So,
well, you heard Avent say that we had the choice to go to the Puerto Rico or the Texas tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Puerto Rico,
the Round Rock or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's a big time tournament, isn't it?
That's a big time tournament. Yeah.
Is that the one they do at Astros? Where the Astros play?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Minute Maid.
Yeah.
I think that's. I mean, he said the Texas tournament. I'm assuming that's the one he was talking about.
Well, I think that's the one A&M is in every year.
I don't know if they're in it every year, but I'm sure them or Texas
Yeah,
Texas
one or
Tech
the
or
other.
somebody else. Yeah. Yeah, but Avent said that. He said they had the choice to go to that one or Puerto Rico.
Well, I think that we have talked.
It's costing me and Cal a lot more since his decision process. His decision.
Well,
At
we
least,
have
at least we're not having to pay a lot for the tickets, Cal. In case anybody's still on the fence, you can go to the games in Ponce for how much? $9.50 a ticket.
$9.50 a ticket, and
And yeah,
Cogwas is free.
Cogwas, the games are free. Yep. So if you're still on the fence and thinking about going to supporting the Pac-9, tickets for the events themselves aren't going to cost you a whole lot.
And there is a direct flight out of Raleigh and Orlando, for that matter, for Adam. But there is a direct flight out of Raleigh on JetBlue Airways. I've actually, but I mean, for somebody who flies 40 or 50 times a year, I've never flown JetBlue. You ever flown JetBlue, Adam?
I have, yeah, several times.
Up to Boston. So
I flew them to New York and Richmond. You can fly them direct from Orlando to Richmond.
See, I'm learning things. All right. Well, we're opening up the season against the Washington Husky baseball team who played in the Slobber Knocker Big Ten baseball conference last year, and they win 29-28. We'll also see Indiana State, the Sycamores, home of Larry Bird. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Who went 20, 24, and 31 last year. And then we'll wrap up our weekend with the Seton Hall. I don't even know their mascot. I'm going to go with Pirates. That's what it kind of looks like. What is the Seton Hall mascot?
Looks like a pirate to me.
I think it's a pirate. I think they're pirates.
It's good. Well, I'm gonna be pissed if the Pirates get us in Puerto Rico like they did at the Maui Invitational.
Oh my gosh!
But Seton Hall went 24-30 last year, so maybe not the most exciting draw, but I'm excited to get down there to the warm weather, and definitely excited for the Pac-9 to be back on the diamond again. Any final thoughts, boys?
All good, man. See you next time.
See you next time, guys.
Happy to be back with you guys.
Happy to be back. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
Don't email us right now because I ain't been checking that lately.
Instagram. Follow us on Instagram and X.
And X, yeah. We're putting some content on, or Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook too.
Yeah, Facebook. That's right. At Pack Homer Pod. You can message us. It might take us a while to get back to you. We attend kids' birthday parties, corporate events, whatever you want. No, glad to be back. We'll see you for episode 2 here before too long. We're getting on the climb, boys. We should hit episode 50 this year, so we'll have to think up something clever.
We'll have to dig up some stats to see how many podcasts make it that far.
I know. We're still alive and kicking. So see you soon, and go Pack.
Go Pack.